male mind and attraction. Have you ever sat down to talk to a man and realized that you were both on completely different pages? He might be interested in some fun while you want to settle down. He might care more about superficial attraction while you're looking for a deeper relationship. When it comes to having relationships, intimacy, and eventually love, men and women both approach it very differently. Women tend to need emotional closeness and crave in order to feel love or intimacy. For men, they usually find that the physical is what creates the emotional. They do not feel it unless they are actually getting that closer relationship with each other. Of course, that does not mean you have to put out just to get him to stick around. And any man that makes it sound like those are your two options immediately should be kicked to the curb anyway. For men, however, attraction, lust, and love are more physical or are built upon different factors than they are for women. It becomes important for you to understand what he values so that you are able to recognize where to polish yourself up as well. Now, you shouldn't be changing yourself for anyone, but if you know what it is that drives the men in your life to feel the way that they do, you also know how to put your best foot forward to trigger that early attraction that is necessary. Before we get into this, let's take a look at what you need in order to create that attraction in the first place. What is it that drives men to want to be around you? What is it that drives them to be attracted to you? How does their own biological makeup, their own personal sex hormones, and their general personality matter when it comes to how they view women? We're going to address the science of attraction here, as well as the role that testosterone, the male sex hormone, plays in it. We will look at how a relationship can build from lust or attraction into love. That long-term feeling of intimacy that is more stable and enduring than attraction. We will then look at what it is that men tend to want out of women and how you're able to tell if you're interested in a man. This is the foundation that you will need to make sure that you're able to launch yourself into the dating scene from, understanding the perspective of the men around you. The science of attraction. Attraction might seem like something that is clear-cut, but the truth is, there is much more complexity behind it than what you might actually see. The initial moment of attraction actually happens just about immediately upon meeting. It is something that you cannot really control or influence. It is something that just happens. Think of the last time you were attracted to someone. You probably found yourself stammering over your words, sweating, and even saying silly things. Your heart is probably pounding in your chest at the moment as well. You have been there. Almost all of us have been there. Why is that? The answer is simple. Hormones. That's right, the hormones. Those tiny little things floating around in your body will control that point of attraction. You are either attracted to someone else or you are not. And there is not much between there. That attraction is what is known as lust. It is the sex hormones in your body getting released on overdrive. Lust is primarily designed for one purpose and one purpose alone: reproduction. You feel lust because your body wants you to pass on your genes. And you've seen someone that you believe is going to be a good match for you. Believe it or not, men and women can actually identify how fertile the other is just at a glance, though it is entirely unconscious. Men will almost always rate women who are currently fertile or are ovulating as more attractive than those at an infertile point in their cycle. And this is entirely biology. They may not realize why it's happening. They just find themselves thinking that the ovulating woman is more attractive. Likewise, women tend to be attracted to men with more testosterone, just due to the fact that higher testosterone levels mean that they are more fertile. Testosterone drives the libido in both men and women. And when testosterone levels run high, you find that you are more interested in getting down to business. Nature has a way to survive, and that is through getting people together. The actual attraction aspect of lust is driven by dopamine, the feel-good hormone that is there to reward you when you get something right. It drives you to want to pursue the other person. However, attraction and lust are not love. They are not the foundation to create a relationship. They are that instant reaction, that instant co-mingling of all the right hormones at just the right time to drive your body and mind to react. And unfortunately, you have roughly 90 seconds to make that impression. That instant physical attraction happens thanks to instinct, and women and men both have their own personal preferences that they follow, all based on instinct and the idea of reproduction. Your attraction is there to guide you to want someone that will be reproductively compatible with you. From lust to love. Lust, attraction, and love are all slightly different, but they all serve to get the same end if everything works out accordingly. Lust is sexual desire. It is the need for sexual gratification. You are able to feel lusty and want just about anyone around you, or you are able to feel lusty and want a specific person instead. Lust is really just about the need for sexual release. It is governed by sex hormones, namely estrogen and testosterone. Attraction takes lust to the next stage and is driven by dopamine in the hypothalamus. It is there to tell you that this person that you are with is someone that would be a good biological match for you at that point in time. You are able to lust after someone that you are attracted to. Or you are able to be attracted to someone first and then lust after them later on. This attraction is something that happens immediately, as mentioned. It is instinctive and driven, like lust, to push reproduction. Without lust and attraction, along with the feel-good hormones that they create, you may not be driven to seek out a sexual partner. They are there so that you feel driven to find that release from someone else. They are there so that you are able to be certain that you have got what you need, so that you meet that biological imperative of reproduction. After all, if you did not feel driven to seek out a sexual partner, would you ever actually reproduce? Dopamine is released when you are around people that you are attracted to. Along with that dopamine, you get a release of norepinephrine as well. And together, these hormones are what create that feeling of love or attraction. They are what makes us feel so silly around the people that we are attracted to. And they are why we can find ourselves completely enamored with the other person. This is the reward for being around someone that you are attracted to, during sex as well. If you have sex with someone that you are attracted to, you shoot off all of those parts of the brain that trigger when you are rewarded. Studies have shown that those reward areas are triggered as well when you are shown a picture of someone that you are attracted to. While you will not have them fire off as much if you're shown a picture of someone that you are quite neutral towards. Initially, love is slightly different as well. Love is all about close bonding. It is about building an attachment to someone else. Attachment is built up over time and becomes the predominant factor when you look to the long-term relationships. Lust and attraction play a role in any sort of romantic relationship, from one-night stands to just pining over someone else. However, love builds over time. It is present for those deeper relationships and is driven by oxytocin, the cuddle hormone. Oxytocin is created by the hypothalamus, just like dopamine, and is also prevalent in sex, but it shows up in several other contexts as well. You get a massive dose of oxytocin when you orgasm, but it is also involved in cuddling, breastfeeding, and childbirth. In fact, oxytocin is the hormone that creates those contractions that push the baby out. While they may seem all unrelated, especially when you consider the pain involved with childbirth and the stark difference between having sex with someone and breastfeeding a child, the truth is they are all meant to foster immediate and high levels of bonding. Childbirth hurts. But what do women say? That moment that their baby is in their arms, they forget all about the pain and suffering and feel that intense bond to their newborn. During breastfeeding, this bond is also highly nurtured. What other context might you need to bond intensely to someone else? If you guessed pair bonding between a couple that will be raising a child together, you guessed correctly. Pair bonding is the act of creating a bond or association for any period of time. People tend to make pair bonds in various forms. There are pair bonds created long-term, such as between a long-term boyfriend and girlfriend. There are lifelong pair bonds, as marriage is typically intended to be. People also create pair bonding socially between friends or family members. Sexual pair bonding, however, is usually created due to the flooding of neurotransmitters that we have discussed so far. While marriage and pair bonding are not entirely analogous for every person out there, the idea is similar. What men want. Men look at several different aspects of the other person to determine what they're attracted to. Yes, the physical traits of people matter to some degree, and every man will have their own preferences. Some find that blue eyes and blonde hair drive them wild, while others prefer the mousy look. However, there are certain things that men look for in their partners that they find attractive. Do not worry. This is not a list that is going to tell you that you must cake yourself with so much makeup that you no longer look like yourself. Nor is it a list that's going to tell you to change yourself. However, when it comes to what men are attracted to, there are some things that just cannot be ignored. Attraction. Remember that instant attraction happens without you being able to control or influence it. If he decides that you are not attractive in those first 90 seconds, you will have to win him over with other ways instead. And that can be a major problem for you. What he finds attractive will be his own personal preference. Intimacy. Men do actually crave that intimacy that they get the reputation of avoiding. Men want to be close to others emotionally and physically. They want to feel that connection with their partners, and they see their partners as their sort of safe space that they can land after a difficult day. He will want to open up to you. But because he wants that intimacy, he may find you more attractive if you show him some vulnerability as well. If you find that you talk to him a bit more vulnerably, showing him that you might need help, he may find that you are more attractive. Now, this does not mean that you have to let him control you. You do not have to let him rule over you or treat you like a princess or a damsel in distress. But he will be interested if you show him more than that tough outer shell. Show him that you are human and you do not shy away from feelings. Respect. Men do not want to be disrespected, and if you treat him with respect, he is more likely to be interested in you long term. You probably want some respect too. After all, no one wants to be treated like garbage. If you want to be respected, it makes sense that he would too. If you want to attract and keep a man around, he will want respect. Show him that you care about him. Do not tease him or try and degrade him. He is most likely not going to be very receptive to how you treat him if that's your motive. He'll find that you're not worth the hassle. After all, who would be okay with rude treatment? Praise. Men love to have their ego stroked. Even if he is the most confident man out there, he wants to make sure that he gets it supported somewhere along the way. He wants to hear that he's doing a good job, or that he is attractive to you, or that you appreciate something that he did. Men want to be praised. Let him hear you praise something if you want to win him over. Acceptance. Men want to feel like they're accepted as well. This goes hand in hand with the need for intimacy. After all, he wants to feel like you really do want him around, or that you really like him for more than just satisfying lust. He wants to feel comfortable in his relationship, and like he can let his guard down without judgment. He wants to know that he can let loose around you without you acting offended, annoyed, or like you would rather have him shut up. Romance. Although he may be annoyed at the idea of watching a drama or romance movie, he still wants to feel the romance in the relationship. He wants to feel like he can connect to his partner. He wants that spark in the relationship that reminds him of his attraction and love. Romance is seen as a sort of quick, unplanned, unpredictable release of attraction. It could be a passionate kiss, or an invitation to bed suddenly, or even a note showing him that you love him hidden in his wallet, in the slot where he keeps his debit card. He wants to feel that spark with his partner. Security. Security is the idea that men can trust their partners. They know that they are loved and wanted. They want to know that they can feel connected and respected. And they want to know that they were communicating well with their partners. Men want to know where they stand. And they want to know that when they think they're supposed to be exclusively seeing someone, that the other person does not have a completely different idea. Remember, that security is something built both ways. You might want that respect and security, but he will need it too, if he wants to feel like he can trust you. Maturity. Men want to be in relationships with other adults, which should be no surprise. If you are past the stage of petty drama and are no longer in high school, he will most likely want you to act like it. He will not want to deal with childish antics. Men want partners that are equal. They want to feel supported and like they're able to better support each other. They want to know that they will not have to do all of the heavy emotional lifting in the relationship. Communication skills. Similar to wanting maturity, most people in relationships want to be able to communicate well. Being able to communicate well will help in just about every aspect of your relationship. From being able to solve problems better, to know how you will need to approach a situation that might require tact. Communication is imperative. You need to be able to communicate clearly with the people that you relate to, or that you want to be in a relationship with. And many a man has ended things because communication issues were present. Partnership. Men want to feel like they have a partner. We have discussed this. They're attracted to the idea of a strong partner, especially when they're looking for a potential long-term partner. They want to find people that they know will be highly supportive of them. They need to feel like they can rely on the other person in the relationship just as much as they can rely on themselves. Identifying male attraction. So, you found a guy. You know that you want him. You know that he looks perfect, acts perfect, and sounds perfect for you. Now all you have to do is figure out how to win him over. The first step to this is figuring out whether he's actually attracted to you. Remember, the attraction is instinctive and nearly instantaneous. So, if you're looking for those signs, you will find them very early on. No matter how good he is at hiding his thoughts or seeming mysterious. However, there are signs that happen without men realizing it most of the time. These signs will serve as your sort of key. They will let you know what is going on in his mind, so that you're able to figure out whether he's into you or not. After all, mutual attraction is necessary if you want to connect. It is that foundation upon which your relationship will be based. When you are attracted and he is not, he is going to be more bothered than anything else if you attempt to pursue him. Think about a time that someone was interested in you, but you shared no such bond with the other party. You were probably bothered immensely. It can be incredibly uncomfortable to be pursued after making it clear that you do not reciprocate. Thankfully, if you want to take the guesswork out of the situation, you'll be able to do so by looking for the following signs. Casual contact. This is not sexual here. It is brief touching that you may not initially instigate, but is still not uncomfortable. It could be a hand on your shoulder or back. He might brush against you on accident. Or so you think at first, until those accidental touches happen more and more. This is perhaps the most straightforward of the signs. He flirts. While some people flirt with just about anyone, if you notice that he consistently flirts with you, he probably finds you attractive. Flirting is a way to help build up attraction and sexual tension, and he uses it to gauge your own interest in him. He wants to know if you want him as much as he wants you, and your reaction will tell him everything that he needs to know. He is careful to keep himself clean. You will notice that he will fiddle with his appearance far more often if he's attracted to you. He does this because he's trying to impress you, because he does like you. This is his attempt at showing you that he's interested. He may wear cologne or put on his best clothes. You might catch him messing with his hair. He might tug at his sleeves or carefully preen himself in the bathroom mirror. This is normal. He wants to look his best for you. He looks you over. Though he might try to be careful or tactful about it, if he is attracted to you, he will not be able to help himself. He'll have to look you over. He might do it outwardly to show that he's interested, or he may have done it without you catching him. But you are likely to catch it eventually. He shows off around you. If you find that he keeps doing things that will make him stand out from other people, he's probably attracted to you. He's trying to make you see that he is better than any other competition around him. And the best way to show that is through conveying abilities. He smiles at you. If you find that he's always smiling that boyish, charming smile around you, he is most likely attracted to you. Men tend to find positivity attractive, and because of that, they tend to do what they can to present that positivity as well. He stays close to you. If you find that he leans in your direction when you talk, or if his feet point towards you, or he seems to mirror your gestures, he is probably attracted. He is paying close attention to you, and his body is mirroring yours. He straightens up and looks taller around you. Men that are attracted to another will show it by straightening their spine and holding their shoulders stiffly, because they want to be taller. That tallness is an attempt to make himself seem more dominant. He tries to draw out conversation. If you realize that he is constantly trying to talk to you, even when the conversation is coming to a close, he probably does not want to leave. He's probably desperately trying to keep himself around you for as long as possible, so he does not have to end the conversation. His voice is slightly deeper. Research has shown that men unconsciously shift their voice down a few tones when they speak to people that they are attracted to, because it shows them as more dominant or powerful in the situation. In fact, it's been shown that women tend to find those deeper voices more attractive as well. If you notice that he talks to you differently than he does to other people, he is probably attracted to you. Nervousness. Even if he is normally calm, he might find himself nervously saying things around you. He is distracted by your presence, and that can be intimidating. He may find himself feeling more anxious about you and how to react with you. Even confident men can find themselves feeling a bit nervous around you if they find themselves highly attracted. It can leave him flustered and struggling to maintain composure. Regular deep eye contact. Men usually try to catch and maintain eye contact with those that they are attracted to. It shows that they are confident in themselves, but also that they like the other person. It shows interest. He might just be friendly, but usually, deep eye contact that is indicative of attraction is maintained far longer than casual eye contact. If he continues to watch you without missing eye contact or with only brief breaks, his eyes will always return to you if he's interested.